Hey there, this is Russ Murphy from Indiana Avenue Baptist Church. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I love all of the Bible, all is inspired by God. One of my favorite books, though, is the book of Habakkuk because we see him go through these stages of life. He starts out complaining. In chapter 1, verse 2, he says, "How long, God, can I cry out and you don't even hear me?" He said, "The law is being ignored and you're doing nothing." And in verse 5, God says, "You know what? I am doing something. Better sit down. I'm going to tell you what I'm about to do." And I'm sure Habakkuk's going, "What are you going to do with those Chaldeans, those really evil people?" And God says, "Look among you, the nations, observe, be astonished and wonder, because I'm doing something in your days you will not believe." Here's what he's doing. "For behold, I'm raising up the Chaldeans, that fierce and impetuous people." For the rest of the chapter, he goes ahead to tell Habakkuk how bad these people are, but I'm raising them up. He's saying, "God, you're not doing anything in my life or the nation's life." And God said, "Oh yeah, I am for sure. I'm always working." One thing you can always know, that no matter what you're going through, God is always working. So Habakkuk starts out complaining. In chapter 2, he goes into asking. He says this, "I will stand on my guard post and station myself on the rampart, and I will keep watch to see what if you will speak to me, and how I may reply." In other words, he went from complaining, now he's going, "God, you must be doing something, and I'm going to try to find out what that is." In this day and time in our lives here, around the world, we're saying, "God, are you doing anything?" And God says, "Yes, I'm always doing something." And what this is a good cue for us to do. Just go, stay in the Word, stay the best you can, praying with God, and just stay close because he's doing something. Just watch for it, he'll tell you. In chapter 3, Habakkuk comes to this now, a very, very important verse. He said, "O Lord, revive your work in the midst of the years." In other words, just do what you're going to do. Here he was at first complaining about it and saying, "Are you kidding me? You're going to raise those people up?" And God says, "I certainly am." And he complained about it and he resisted. But in chapter 3, he said, "God, just do what you have to do in our nation and in my life." This is some of my favorite verses are towards the very, very end of this chapter here. It says this, it says, "Though the fig tree should not blossom, and there be no fruit on the vines, though the yield of the olive should fail, and the fields produce no food, though the flock should be cut off from the fold, and no cattle in the stalls," here it is, "yet I will exalt the Lord. I will rejoice in the name of the God of my salvation, and he will put my feet upon high places." You see, when you start praising God, even in the midst of your troubles, you start to ascend above those problems and see the problems the way God sees them. Right now, we're all going through some problems. We really are. But listen, see what God's doing. "Lord, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to do in my life?" And then just say, "God, whatever you want to do, just do it. And even no matter what happens, I'm still going to praise you." Hope you have a wonderful day. Keep praising the Lord no matter what.